so excited to have another segment of our Resident of Inspiration. This time it's Residents of Inspiration. You guys bucked the system. There's two of you.
Yeah, but the Bible says two is one, so we're only one.
Well, I've got two folders and two sets of gift cards to Henry, so I think you guys scored. You guys were nominated from Miss Bradbury. Ida was so complimentary of the way that you guys navigate your court and what you all do for each other. She went through a litany of residents that she wanted to nominate, and I put her on the spot, and I said, I need one name. And he gave me two.
Oh, I thought he was going to say, I need Bob.
So congrats on the nomination. What was your guys' first thought when you heard you guys were the nominees for this week?
I was shocked.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think you make that big of an impact on this campus?
I don't think I made that big, no. I didn't think I was known that much around here.
But you are. I mean, I don't know if you saw the segment, how much she basically, before and after, kept complimenting your guys' commitment to the course as a whole. You guys are all one big family over there.
Well, not to brag, but we have the best court in the whole.
Ooh, those fighting words for like court 3, court 4. We hear that all the time.
That went right out of course.
That's viral right now. Yeah, that's all over Glencroft. And that'll probably, Ross might use that in some of the activities.
Gold Rush Days is coming up, so.
Now you told me that they were going to edit some of this so that you can.
Maybe. Those kind of fighting words are fun to have out there. I think that is truly what makes Glencroft special, though, is that we have courts that are designed to be little pods, but you guys create your own little family and your own little town within the town.
Right.
So what brought you to Glencroft originally? When did you guys move to Glencroft?
The short version of it, since we don't have time, we were looking for a place. One of the residents here has been here for a long, long, long time. And we actually came down to visit her. Okay. And she lives over in the tower. And we had no idea at the times that we visited her that Glencroft, this was all Glencroft. We thought Glencroft was the tower, or the tower was Glencroft.
Okay.
So when we were looking for a place to come, this was actually the last place.
Oh my gosh.
So we discovered at Glencroft. And it's interesting to me because when we come out from Pennsylvania, we were here and we farmed this land.
Wow.
Yeah, that was about in '59.
Wow.
So it's a long story there, but.
So when did you actually make the move then? How long ago? How long have you lived here?
3 years.
3 years?
Okay. 3 years ago.
And you guys have been in the same court this whole time? You moved in and you've stayed put?
Right. We had to come down about 3 or 4 times before we found the place we wanted. But
yeah. And where were you coming from?
Globe.
In Globe. Okay.
Right.
How long did you live in Globe?
Well, we worked on a reservation for 50 years.
Oh, wow.
What were you doing? The San Carlos Apache reservation.
What kind of stuff were you doing?
Ministry.
Oh,
very cool.
Ministry. We took our kids to camp. We used to take them for the bus load all the way from San Carlos, coming through Phoenix and go to Prescott to go to camp. We had a lot of fun.
Wow. So I bet you, as you made that tour through Phoenix over time, you saw the development and you saw all the changes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
well, definitely, yeah. From the time that we actually farmed on the Rowley's Dairy.
Right.
We spent 5 years over there.
Wow.
So we, had, and then we adopted a bunch of kids. We had, or not adopted them, but foster care.
Okay, sure.
We had 18 all total. Five of our own, and
holy cow!
So we didn't have them all at the same time because we didn't have the room, but we had 3 at a time.
Wow.
One or 2 or 3, no more than 3.
Okay.
And
all different ages at all different times?
All different ages.
Yeah.
All the way from 1 to 18.
Oh my gosh.
Do you still have a contact with those people?
One here.
One here, yes. We actually adopted the one.
Oh.
And he was a year, just a little, well, he had his first birthday with us. And we adopted him. And he's one that people know that he was killed in September 4 with a hit-and-run accident.
Oh.
So that was kind of a blow.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but our ministry was basically with the kids.
Okay.
And so this lady that we were come down to see she actually became one of our supporters, financial supporters.
Okay.
And she's still here, and she's still supporting us.
Unbelievable.
And since this is going out everywhere, I'm putting on the spot which one it was, but,
Yeah, hey.
but the clue is she's 102 years old.
Unbelievable. Is she pretty active on campus?
Oh, yeah.
That's great. And she still works with you guys to this day, and you guys still do things together.
Yeah, we was a good guy.
Wow.
So through that transition of fostering and all of what you were doing for the youth in the Valley, did you, when you started coming on to Phoenix and seeing Glencroft and you made this decision, do you still do a lot with the neighborhoods around us, or how is your role adjusted?
Well, we spent, when we came down here, we were hoping to get involved either with a local church or some avenue, whatever the Lord was leading. Mm-hmm. And we really had a hospital visitation. The people that from St. Carlos that we were ministering to, those kids have grown up and they're
Sure.
grandparents now. And so when any of those would get into the hospital, they would call us or let us know. We'd go and have, in a sense, hospital chaplain.
Oh my gosh,
You
yeah,
know.
sure.
So since the COVID came, why the doors were all shut.
Yeah.
And so that ministry's
Yeah.
Yeah.
on.
How did you guys how did you navigate COVID? Now, we like to ask that question every time just from resident. I mean, everybody had different perspective, different ways they gripped with it, but how did you guys navigate what was 2020? Did it change for you? Did you do things a lot different?
Not really.
No?
Not really.
Stayed with the friendships you had out there, kept pushing?
We stayed pretty much, right. The church that we were attending off campus closed down 2 weeks
Okay.
and was back up again. We only have about 25 people there. But other than that, yeah, we're off to church, we're off to grocery shopping,
It's great. Great. It's so funny. I mean, everybody's...
We're kind of, what do you call it, rebels, renegades. But we practice, to try to keep in...
Staying clean, social
stay
distance.
clean,
Yeah.
right.
Do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do.
That's right. So, coming back full circle of why you're here, we know that Bradbury's nomination of you was something to listen to. She really loved on your court as a whole, and then you guys in particular, and then your heart for what you've done all your lives. I think it's kind of that moment. I mean, I hate putting you on the spot, but I need a name. We need somebody to sit in this chair next week.
You need somebody sitting there next week?
Who are you thinking?
Well, I talked with Ron Baker and last night, and I told him, I said, well, I'll let you know how it goes, and so I'm nominating him.
Wow. That's a great nomination.
He's from the other end of the, well, he's in our Pennsylvania group. We also have a Pennsylvania group that's here, about 25 of us from Pennsylvania here at Glencroft. But so we got to be friends at the pool and the PA meetings and stuff.
That's very good.
So I would nominate him for next week.
I love it. Ron Baker's a great nomination. We are in Jane's World often with the Parkinson's program that we have, and we're hands-on with her a lot, and working through Ron on a lot of her.
You probably know him better than
I know
I do.
him very well, yeah. We spend a lot of time with each other in the pool, so I think it's a great nomination. I think it's fun to see, again, I say it every week, but how the nominations move all over court. There's not a rhyme or reason, and that shows even in 40 acres, the ability to touch on each other no matter where you live on this campus. And I know your court is so active in his own little tribe, but you're talking about Ron, who lives way over on the other side.
Yeah.
And I
So
think
I
that's a
give
cool
another
thing.
punch here for these deals. He wants to move into Casitas.
Ron does.
Ron does. And I'm telling him, I said, well, there was 2 units open in ours. And he says, yeah, but they both filled up so fast. He can't, so,
They're a hot commodity.
so, Donna, are you listening? Ron wants to move into Casitas.
That's exactly right. Well, we appreciate you guys being here. I think Ron Baker's a great nomination, but you guys are great nominees in your own right, and you have a heart for obviously the youth and what you've done with your lives in this area. It's made an impact on so many, so it's been fun to have you here. Welcome to another episode of ZoeTV. Now, to my left, this isn't Kay Baker.
No.
This isn't Kay Baker. We got a special guest who's taken the place of Kay today, and because he was already going to be our main point of talking to, our special guest, Ronnie from Sales and Marketing, who is the brand ambassador. He puts up all the signs.
I do.
He does all the website. You got your hands in everything.
Yeah, it's messy.
It's busy. You got a busy life. But it was important to bring you on today, and we kind of let Kay have the day off, so we could just get down and dirty with the new app.
So we have an app for the campus.
Bam. This is something that has been coming for a long time.
It really has. There have been a lot of starts and stops. COVID put a wrench in some things, and we're finally ready to go. And you will start to see signs, flyers, and things like that around campus that will instruct you on how to download, how to access and log in, and everything you need.
Now, let me interrupt you real quick. If I am a resident and I have a smartphone or a tablet, why do I want to download this app? What am I going to gain from having this app on my phone?
There's a lot of little things. One thing in particular, when COVID hit, we realized we did not have an easy way to message the entire campus and say, hey, we're shutting down, or hey, we're open, or there's delivery only at Henry's, or whatever. So we realized there was a necessity for something like an app for the campus.
Right.
That's kind of one of the reasons it evolved and developed. The other thing is that it's the way technology is going, and all these other campuses are already doing this. So we're a little bit behind, but we're catching up, and we're ready now. So this app has a lot of different things. It's very easy to use, but it has a lot of things, such as you can look at the menus for the day, the week, and the month at all of the different restaurants, which is really nice. It's
so
easy,
at the touch of your hands,
access.
you have interact where you press, and I can look at all the menus for the week.
For the week, actually, it goes through the month.
Wow.
So it's easy access. I think that's probably the number one thing you will go to. It is, from feedback that I've got from people already using the app, that's the one thing that they really enjoy most.
I have heard, and it's so funny that the dining options have been the go-to first button pressed on the app. But it makes sense.
And now with Milan, I mean, he and his team have really developed great, unique, different meals, and it's awesome to see the differences and the changes that he's made, and it's nice that it's there readily available at your hand.
That's very cool.
So that's probably the biggest one, and probably the one that most people will use.
Okay, so I'm in the app, I've checked out dining. Tell me something I can do in activities and all that Ross provides. Is there options there to learn?
So activities are listed. That's the other one. It's really great. It's front and center. I believe it's actually the first little icon, and you'll understand this once you start to download and look at it. But it's one of the first icons. It talks about everything that's happening on campus.
Okay.
So Gold Rush Week is coming up. All of that will be in there, and it will show you days, times, events. There's no sign up or anything like that at this point. There possibly could be in the future, where it's something that's going to continue to evolve as we need it. And I think that's one of the things to keep in mind. We're continually developing.
Well, and I think that's the thing with all of technology, in the way that we're slowly getting our feet wet with a lot of it.
Right.
And the industry, like you said, is using it. When we visit other senior living campuses, they use the same platform.
Right.
They use this, what's called Touchdown. This app was designed for senior living space, for this industry.
Exactly.
And so this is what they know, this is what they do. And I think that's what excited you and your team, is saying, man, I love working with an app that's dedicated to senior living facilities.
And I think one of the important things to keep in mind, this is developed by a company that works with other senior living communities. So with that in mind, they've kept it easy to access for all technological abilities.
That's a good way to put that.
It really is very simple. I think maybe the most difficult thing will be downloading it.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
but otherwise, I mean, we did a beta group, and there was a wide range of people in there, with people who use their smartphone regularly and those that really only use it as a phone. But everybody was able to download, log in, and get access to all the information on there.
I think like anything that we've done with ZoeLife and anything that we've done on this campus to try new programs, the idea of beta testing it first and getting the wrinkles worked out is a huge thing to overcome. And we brought in some of our ambassadors. How many total did you have?
I think there were 10. Right?
10 ambassadors total that have tangible hands-on experience with the app, right?
Yeah.
And they spent a couple weeks playing with it, trying it, and giving feedback.
Yeah, and even since then they're still using it. So I get every once in a while I'll get feedback from them still. I mean, and there are of course still things that we're working out, and we'll continue to do so, and we'll get your feedback as well, I'm sure, to help make adjustments and make it easier or better. I don't know, but we'll figure it out as we go along.
I think that COVID as a whole put a wrench in a lot of things.
It really
obviously. Did. Things like this, certain parts of it got delayed, part on touchdowns, because they're the back ends, they're the wireframing, and they're the all behind the scenes to what you would try to develop with them, right? So we're kind of, as this thing gets launched and you get it over the walls on the campus, things are coming, like any other apps, right? Updates are going to happen. Things are going to happen. I know what I'm really excited about, seeing the app get to the point of scheduling. And where we are able to get away from calling the Performance Center to book universities, that it's, your schedule at a glance, and you book X number of lectures, and it builds into your custom daily schedule. You get alerts, you get real-time notifications. That's where we're going with this app. And that's the goal is, we're moving the needle on getting information to you. So we get off of all paper, we get off of slides, which are great on Channel 2 and Channel 4, but I think as people get used to something new and having that app, I think it's going to worth its weight in gold of what's going to come with it.
And there are a lot of things. So, let me give you an example of some of the things. We have all the publications on there. So Zoe Magazine is in there.
Cool.
So you could obviously read Zoe Magazine, as you do already, but if you want, you could view it on your phone, your computer, whatever. And same with like Tell Tilly, The Informer, those are in there updating regularly. And all the slides that you see on Channel 2 are also in there. And I know at times you'll sit there waiting to look at a certain slide, and you're like waiting and waiting and waiting. In this case, you can actually scroll through all the slides to find the one that you're looking for more information.
Okay.
So there are a lot of different aspects to this, and there's potentially even more. We're just, we're at the very beginning, and I am excited to build on it.
I've talked to enough senior living operators and other campuses that use Touchdown that say they couldn't imagine life without it. And they've all started like we are, with baby steps. We don't know what we got into, but we want to try this app for our campus. And now, in a short amount of time, they say, I couldn't imagine this campus without this app, that everything is evolved around it, real-time communication, messaging back and forth, alerts, just everything you get when you put in place something like that.
Yeah, and another example of that type of information getting to you, where we have the morning briefings throughout the week, and it airs at specific times. If you miss it, then you have to wait for the next air time. In this case, those briefings will be on the app as well. So if you missed it in the morning or whenever, you can always go back and review it there and listen to it or view it.
Cool.
So, I mean, it is really hopefully a user-friendly, beneficial item for you.
Now, you said earlier there's going to be posters that are up.
Right.
And ways of learning about the app, how to download it, tutorials. How do you see our residents learning? Because you go in those app stores, and it's a barrage of apps.
It is.
It's easy to get confused.
It is.
Explain what that poster might look like, what to look for.
So you'll start to see posters around campus, flyers also, and it does give instruction on where to go and download it.
Okay.
Also, though, how to log in and if you need help, who to contact, which is me. So all that information will be in there.
So your phone number's on there.
It is. My email is on there.
That's a dangerous thing. I like it, though.
I know. I'm ready for
You're
it.
all in on this app.
And then also, you can always stop in the administrative office, and I will try to be available as much as I possibly can. So
that is very
But it
cool.
is, we're hoping that now that the campus is opening up, that we can have like a tutorial type thing like we did with the watches.
Yes.
Where we can kind of walk you through it. It is very simple, so I expect it would be short, but at least it would be a time where you could ask questions. If you have concerns or anything, we'll be able to address those at that point.
And I think the relationship that you've developed with the server, being Touchdown, you're able to take a lot of the comments that we might get and be able to reach out to them and say, hey, here's the way our campus is working. This is what they're asking for. And customizing the app to the experience of our residents is a possibility. And
getting campus feedback is beneficial not just to us, but it's also beneficial to Touchdown, because then they are, and Glencroft is one of the largest campuses in the United States, so they aren't used to working with as large a campus.
That's right.
That's kind of been one of our sticking points, is how do we develop this for everybody?
Yeah.
And so with that in mind, getting your feedback and bringing that to Touchdown also helps them develop and evolve as well.
Oh, that's super cool. Now let me ask you this. If there's content on there that residents want to share with their families, are they able to pick bits and pieces out and forward those little slides on, or information, or family members be able to log in with the same thing, or how does that work?
So that is a great question, because I know there's been some concern about security, who can download this, who can get into it. You can be assured that the only people that are able to get into it are those residents that live here or family members of residents that live here.
Oh, that's good.
Residents who already live here have login information that we've established. If you have a family member, I would need for you to get in touch with me so that I can give them access.
Okay.
It's not something that anybody can get into.
That's important. I think that's important that you illustrated that, because that's the thing with apps out there, and especially when it's talking about logistics of how our campus operates, that we don't need all the eyes on that.
No.
But if a resident downloads it and they want their family to see it, they reach out to you, and you help that process.
Yes. And we'll get them logged in as well. I mean, and it would be nice for a family member to see what's going on the campus where your parent, grandparent lives, so you can see, hey, you could talk to them about some of the events that have been happening, or possibly, like with COVID, they would have been getting messages.
Instead of everything on the website and everything trying to go that way, this is such
paper,
a quick,
I
love it.
So it's just another means of communication, another way to be involved with the campus and things going on here. I think we'll all enjoy it.
Well, I've enjoyed the process of seeing you work with our ambassadors using it and getting real-time feedback of what they've enjoyed, what they think that they could be better, and then going back on your end and working with Touchdown to help facilitate those requests. And I think with what's coming in 2021, like I said, I think there's so much opportunity there that people will really gravitate towards using that as a way to make their daily agenda. And I've got this yoga class here, and then I want to go to lecture, and then I eat here, and all of that's facilitated by this app.
Yeah, and again, all of this is continually evolving. The scheduling part of things isn't quite there yet, and that was one of our sticking points, but we decided, rather than hold off,
let's launch it.
We're going to figure it out and move forward. But before I forget, I just want to thank all of the ambassadors for all of their feedback, their cooperation. I mean, they really have been in touch with me. Julie Gerke's been awesome with going back and forth, and everybody's been willing to help and upkeep things.
Cool. But you need that. You need real time, like, what are you struggling with? Because it's one thing for us to design it and Touchdown to say, yeah, this works. And then you launch it, and it goes nowhere because it didn't have that beta group saying, not so fast, Jack. That was really hard for me to download.
And what I see as beneficial may not be for you because I don't live on campus. And you are all the ones that are communicating with one another. So
as the time this show airs, will it be live? Can they download it?
Mm-hmm.
So the signs are going up. So this week, you're going to have the ability to download that app and reach out to you if you have questions or concerns or problems. And this thing launches. It's a long time coming.
Too long.
Too long. We're going to leave that. Real quick in recap, man. This show flew. This show flew by. Resident Inspiration, I mean, I love having two of them. And I love being in the studio. No more Zoom. We're over that. I think Zoom has been creative. It's been great. But man, to get our residents back in the studio and just watch them smile and watch them laugh and
with the
tell them stories.
vaccinations and I mean, even the CDC coming out and saying, hey, if you're vaccinated, you can
be together.
I mean, that's a nice.
It's an awesome thing. So we thank you for joining us on this episode of ZoeTV.
Thank you.